Hi everyone, welcome to Ratna Ling. This is actually our welcome circle at the lodge. Thanks for joining me today. We are going to go on a nature walk today. For many of us who are really honoring the shelter in place stay at home order, you might be just cooped up in your room, your apartment, your house, and you might be in a city where you don't have access to parks or trees or open land. So just wanted to give you a breath of fresh air with me. We have the luxury and the liberty right now to explore 120 acres of our land here, and just want to take you on a journey with me, and give thanks that we have this time and space to do our practices. So today I want to take you to some of my favorite places on the property. And what I like to call this practice is wandering or wondering. And what I love about nature is that the plants, the trees, the animals, the insects, why we call it nature is it reminds me of my own nature, my own nature of consciousness, my own nature of being. Even my nature that is consisting of earth, fire, water, air, space, also known as wind or ether. And what I realize about nature and why some of us feel so fed or nourished by going outside or being in trees or being near the ocean or lake, being in the sunshine, is that we get to balance out our elements within us. Something might feel out of balance, right? Maybe we're not feeling grounded or in our earth enough. And so we get trees or soil to remind us of that. And then not only do we get to sort of feel elementally balanced, right? We can actually start to ask ourselves, wonder, where does this tree come from? How old is it? So, if you're watching this, you're welcome to either bring me on your cell phone outside if you have that luxury to do it, or wherever you are, just imagine that you're here touching a tree. You can take a deep breath with it. Notice how the tree might breathe. Maybe notice if the tree is feeling something or saying something. I also notice the sounds of other birds. I wonder what they might be saying to each other. Are they saying anything with meaning, or are they just being in their nature, just chirping and making sounds? I wonder how old this tree is. So I'm just taking you to this fairy circle that's right outside our lodge. And I really want to show you all this very special tree that's very easy to miss when you're here. So it looks wide, and it kind of looks cavernous. But what most people don't know is that you get to go in it. fit about 5 of us in here. And there's still good lighting. So this is what the up looks like. This is the down. I can just feel either like I'm in a womb or a cave. I also wonder what happened to this tree. And if this was a fire that burned through it, how old was this fire? And I like to take a deep breath with the tree. Sometimes when I wonder how old a tree is, I wonder how old my consciousness is. I wonder, what would it be like to be a tree? And how long do I get to experience this planet? In stillness, mostly stillness, right? Without the ability to travel or be mobile. That's one of my favorite secret places on the property that I wanted to show you. And now I want to show you this view of the front of the lodge. So now I kind of want to take you on a walk to across the street where we live. So you all, when you stay here, stay in the cottages on this side of the road. And the volunteers get to live across the street where we get to see, I get to wake up to a reservoir and birds, and most of the time we have deer and turkey roaming. We'll see if we run into them today. But we also have our herb and veggie garden. So I want to take you there as well, just to show you, maybe right now is a good time to start planting your herbs and veggies. You might have time. You might even have a windowsill for, parsley, basil. And again, there's something so beautiful about us being able to nurture and nourish a plant. Here's another beautiful fairy circle that you should come check out when you're here. This one is actually right near the road before we're crossing the street. I think I just want to take you here since we're here. And again, like a secret entryway. It's a little wet today, as you can see, and cloudy. Oh. Again, I'm sort of in a tree, truly inside of one. You can see the nice sort of burnt insides. Here's the up. Oh, I just love this view. Again, how old are these trees? How old is my consciousness? And then what is time, actually? These are the things I wonder when I am out in nature. Okay, so we're on the road. You're always welcome to take some silence, Take a deep breath. Sort of feel this this clean air after the rain. Clouds get to cover. I know that there's sunshine, but it's hidden. I know it's there. So we're gonna walk to our garden now. Have to go through this gate across the street. Always welcome to take a deep breath with me. So what I love about this garden is, prior to the quarantine, not all of us had much time to spend in it. I'm busy doing other jobs. But now you can see all these garden beds we've been able to give some love and attention to. I love these guys. Say hi. Hi, you guys. What we actually do is we spend some time in the garden chanting and meditating with our plants and just sending them so much love so that they can grow and be happy. And radishes. So that when they offer their life to us for some life force and we can eat them, that they're happy and joyful. Look at all these. Again, the thing about nature is there can be a language that they have, right? Even if they're not speaking English to us, they might be saying something to us. Hey guys, I love you. All this kale. Love you guys. I love kale. More amazing gardens. Look at our beautiful radishes. So this is our beautiful veggie garden, and we're so lucky that we can harvest this for our salads, and can use our kale, and we just kind of munch on the radishes, and it's really been sustaining for us right now. Okay, so now I want to take you all to where I like to explore sort of a nature walk around the reservoir. Right, we're not too far from the ocean, but we're far enough that we don't necessarily go to it every day. The reservoir reminds me of my water element. Some of you know that I'm from Hawaii, and the ocean is such a big part of me and the fluidity that I naturally feel in my life. And so what we want to do when we are in nature, or honestly, even the water that comes out of your faucet, to sort of really have a communion with it. You can call it a meditation. You can call it a wandering, or a wandering with the water that's coming out of your faucet or your bathtub or in your drinking glass, and kind of ask yourself, what is this element of water? What can it teach me about fluidity, but also strength, right? We know how strong water can actually be, not just to cleanse and to purify, but think of the strength of the ocean or the strength of currents, which could also be similar to sort of the wind energy of movement, right? But this water, it's a substance, but it's see-through, right? And can't hold on to it, really, right? Can't hold water, which is a really amazing element. Technically, our body's made up of a lot of water. I've heard different percentages, but it's mostly water. And so what does that mean, right? They say that that's why the moon can impact us, because it impacts the tides of the oceans. So what does that say about our nature, this water element? Fluidity, being able to move and even change, not just shapes, right, but turn into ice and melt back into water, or how water can boil, right? How does our nature of water change in different circumstances? This is our beautiful reservoir, which helps me take a deep breath. Why don't we just pause for a second? Listening to the flags move, the birds communicate. Again, maybe taking in all the sights around us. It's the Bindery behind me. There's a stupa, we're working on it. The ladder's still there. You might see the turkeys, the end corner over there. They're pretty far away. So water and earth. How do the trees and the flowers, the soil, remind us how to grow or how to be rooted and grounded? Usually these flowers, these little blossoms grow towards the sun. I wanted to show them to you because the sun's not quite here. They're really closed up. Maybe you can see some of them. They're all closed up, but usually when the sun is out, they're just bright and popping. And they're like all over, just covering the grass, and do my best not to step on them. There they are. So cute. More. Just try to be careful on my path. And there's our little horsies. Hi, horsies. So when you come here, you always feel like you want to talk to them and pet them. Sometimes they want to hang out, but mostly they don't. So they're just chilling today. Okay, so just a few more stops. I want to take you on this journey. So we're talking about the earth, we're talking about water, even how water comes in the form of rain and how rain is so connected to sky. And also I love looking at a flag because it reminds me of the wind energy, right? Just where does the wind come from? Where does the wind come from? Why is it calm sometimes and why is it super stormy? So near our Bindery is our beautiful Stupa Garden, where our community meets every morning. Roses, more beautiful gardens here. And we're going to ring the bell, but I want you to just maybe close your eyes and say a prayer or make a wish. When I ring this bell, I like to pray for peace for all beings everywhere. Beings like ants and mice and rats and snakes and all humans and all my family and all my loved ones and all the people I don't know and all the planets and the space and sun and ocean and lakes and rain, the cosmos, all the existences that I don't even know about yet. So I'm just going to ring this bell of prayer and intention. You can feel the resonance. Take a deep breath. This is our Stupa Garden. This beautiful stupa is dedicated to our Lama. And we bow here, we circumambulate to not only pray for his long, healthy life of service and teachings, but we pray for the long life of the Dharma everywhere in all realms. The teachings of our oneness, our interdependence, the teachings of peace, teachings of love and compassion. So I generally do some circles around these sacred monuments. The stupas are dedicated to the Buddha, Buddha's life, his enlightenment, his teachings. And usually in the morning when we circumambulate, we do the Vajra Guru mantra, which is specifically calling on the power, the fierceness, the protection, the wisdom of Padmasambhava, who's considered the Buddha that brought the teachings from India to Tibet. We sing Om Ahum Vajra Guru Pema Siddhihum. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Pema Siddhiyam Om Vajra Guru Pema Siddhiyam. So I always like to finish our tour. Again, these are some pretty top secret spots that you normally wouldn't know about or go to if you didn't live and work here. I'm going to take you on a trail around the Bindery. If you don't know about our Bindery, if you don't know about our organization, we pretty much exist to preserve sacred Buddhist texts in the Sanskrit and Tibetan languages. We preserve them in the very traditional form of books, but also in the Western style of books of binding. And all of that is made here. And all of it is given away for free to monasteries, monks, and nuns worldwide, specifically to Tibetan refugees, to preserve their culture and language in a way that it's not allowed in China. And, we feel really honored to be supporting not only their culture that was taken away from them, but their language, and most of all, the Buddha's teachings. So this is what you support whenever you pay for a retreat here, or any monies you donate to us. Aside from our operating expenses, it really supports the printing and binding of millions of books. We've given away about 6 million books to this day. So I just took a really special path. Again, this is our bindery behind me. And we come upon this bench here. We'll sit. And we get to look out into... Sit here first. We get to look out into where our Lama lives. My camera may or may not pick it up, especially in these clouds, but this is what we see. And you may see these tiny temples that are actually quite large. And if you can't see it, well, then I highly encourage you to come visit us when we get to reopen our doors. And our Lama lives there, and we're looking at a super large temple cast in bronze, really made by volunteers. And it's quite a magical land. So we have 120 acres here. That Odiyan special place, created to kind of have the Buddhist teachings or the Dharma take root in the West here. Rinpoche created this place. It's on 1,200 acres with just so many temples and sacred structures for us to sort of remember our Buddha nature, our consciousness. So before we close, just being outside with me, I just want you to kind of feel into all the elements of you. Sort of that breath reminds us of the air, the ether, the wind. Our digestion or our warmth can remind us of our fire, or the sun can remind us of the heat and the fire. Water can remind us of our softness, or that blood and water that move through our body, and the fluidity. The earth and the trees can remind us of just our solidity, our groundedness, our centeredness, our material nature. And I just want to take a moment to give thanks for my breath and all my elements in me. You can take a moment to give thanks for sort of your life, your existence, all of the elements within you. And if there was any benefit that we received from our practice together of wandering and wondering in nature, let us dedicate it for all beings everywhere. So we'll sing Om Ahum one time, aligning our body, speech, and mind to benefit all beings everywhere. We ask that all beings everywhere be free from suffering, the causes of suffering. We ask that all beings everywhere, without exception, know love, peace, and joy. Om. Family, thank you so much. Blessings.